Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestle Debate and to another edition of NXT Out of 10. And yeah, this is a big show today. It wasn't just one of those shows, just a go-home show where not a lot happens, because we've got an NXT Women's title match between Kaylee Ray and Mandy Rose, and plenty of other stuff building up towards the show as well. So lots going on. Let's kick things off with the Creed brothers versus grizzled young veterans, but we did get a quick hype promo for the main event before. But Brutus and Dre kicked off the match and the Creeds had the early advantage. Gibson was tagged in and Julius came in as well as the Creeds continued to dominate. Duke was in and had the guillotine locked in before taking a big power slam, but Gibson broke up the pin. The veterans got the Doomsday device for a near fall before Brutus came in and hit a spine buster on Gibson. The Creeds then got a double team move before Brutus picked up the win with a sliding clothesline on Gibson. Yeah, I'll go to 7 out of 10. Still a really fun semi-final match. I was actually surprised by the results, but I'm not really opposed to it. GYV didn't really need it, so yeah, this was good. Cora Jade was in a backstage interview, and she said that she was feeling confident with Gonzalez on her side. Leon and Ferris showed up, and they were trash talking before it looked like Wendy Chu and Almario Miller went on a shopping spree last week with Stratton's credit card, and ended up with a lot of loot before we moved straight into Stratton versus Chu. Stratton yelled at Chu before the match began and kicked off about how Wendy and Miller were wasting her money. She wanted the credit card back, but Chu went ahead and hit her with Bulldog submission. Chu got a couple of near falls before Stratton reversed her offense. Tiffany got some strikes and managed to break a nail in the protest. She yelled at Chu some more before hitting a corkscrew Vader bomb to pick up the victory. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. To be honest, I found it mildly entertaining. Next up was Pete Dunne versus Draco Anthony. Draco started off strong and locked in a hold before getting a vertical suplex early on, and we returned from a break. Dunne recovered and took control of the match before going for Draco's fingers. Anthony then took some shots and replied with a huge forearm before getting a big slam for a near fall. D'Angelo then showed up with a crowbar but got wiped out ringside by Dunne. Pete then hit back to the ring and hit a bitter end to pick up the win. D'Angelo attacked Dunne once more after the match, but Pete took him down on the apron and brought out a steel chair, a box of tools and a cricket bat and various other things ahead of the match at Vengeance Day, which should be good in a weaponised steel cage match. Can't wait for that. I'll give this a 6 out of 10. This was a decent enough build. Shark and Shirai were backstage and Io had an idea about who to ask her to join for the Women's Dusty Cup. Zoe asked her who it was, but Shirai didn't want to spill the beans. Before backstage, Dakota Kai was going through Chu's clothes and said that all the clothes wouldn't buy her the victory. Before he got LA Knight versus Sanga. Knight got some big strikes in, but Sander unloaded on him. Knight was thrown out of the ring and managed to send Sanga face first into the steel ring post. Back in the ring, Sanga got an earful before blocking the stunner before Knight got some big clotheslines in. Walter distracts the referee and Knight got a chop to the throat before taking down Sanga with a good neck breaker for the win. After the match, Waller rushed the ring and got taken down with some big strikes by Knight before he left the ring. Yeah, it's kind of in between match. Decent showing for Sanga, to be fair, but yeah, it was just a bit mid. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Duke Hudson was growing his hair back and talked trash about Dante Chen backstage before wishing Indy and Persia the best of luck for their tag match. Bron Breakker and Santos Escobar were then out for the summit. Escobar and Breakker got into a battle before Dolph Ziggler made his entrance. Ziggler sat down between the two of them, congratulating Breakker before asking who the hell he was. Breakker said that he was NXT champ and would take care of him after his match with Escobar. Ziggler listened to his accomplishments before saying that he was yet to secure a NXT title, and the crowd chanted for a triple threat. Tommaso Ciampa showed up next and called Ziggler a kid before Escobar got up and said that he will win the title next week after taking care of all of them. Ciampa said he was next in line for the NXT title after Escobar before a brawl kicked off and LDF got involved. Breakker cleared the ring, but Legado caught him and put him through the table before Escobar taunted him and walked off. Yeah, really like this. Creates a really interesting dynamic for the NXT title, and I can't wait to see where it goes, to be honest. Kaylee Ray then smashed things backstage before Waller said that Knight might be arrested next week for laying his hands on him despite the restraining order. Saray versus Dakota Kai was next. Saray was back in control. The bout started off during the commercials. When we returned, Saray was in control with a submission before missing a dropkick and being caught with a trio of knee strikes. Kai then got a near fall before kicking Saray down, but only got a Japanese style wall fired up as she got a double stomp off a roll through. Kai then got the Scorpio kick and a near fall as they traded the rollouts. Kai took the dropkick finish from Saray before going down for the 3 count. Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Decent enough match, surprised by the win, but yeah, good to see a Saray push coming in. Carmelo and Trick then cut a promo where they googled Cameron Grimes at a barbershop before Gigi and JC showed up in Indy and Persia's locker room, and they would chase it, arguing about Duke Hudson. The chance reminded Persia that Indy Hudson used to be best friends. A brawl broke out between the two teams and officials had to separate them. Don't know what that was really. Before we got Nikita Lyons getting a promo, but on the NXT 4, Brooks Jensen tried to ask Kaden Carter out on Valentine's Day. Jesus Christ, it's all going on. But moving on, it was MSK versus Anafi and Blade in the Dusty semi-finals. MSK had the early advantage and Carter was tagged in. Blade then took the Bronco Buster before tagging in Anafi as the match continued. Anafi got the head scissors before Lee and Carter got a double team move. Back on NXT, MSK got a near fall, but it was broken up before Blade took Lee out on the outside, and Anafi got a near fall on Carter in the ring. MSK sent Blade outside before getting their finisher on Anafi for the win. I'll give this a 6 out of 10. Decent enough match, and MSK in the final, that should be a really great match against the Creed Brothers, so looking forward to that. When Chi was then backstage on NXT and told Kai that picking up the win wasn't as easy as Dakota made it seem, Tulsa Contraction were then heading to the ring when Indy and Persia attacked them backstage, taking Gigi and JC out, saying Mandy had to come out alone, which she wasn't happy about, as you can tell, before she took on Kaylee Ray. Ray started off strong and got some big moves, before Mandy grounds her and unloaded on the challenger. KLR then got out and hit some strikes to the face before going for a tornado DDT. Mandy then got some big kicks and sending Ray headfirst into the turnbuckles and hit a spine buster for a near fall of her own. Rose then got another near fall in the ring before locking a submission move. Ray took back control of the match and got a moonsault before locking in the hold of her own. Rose countered to KLR one before taking super kick. JC then ran the distraction and ref while JG came in, took out KLR, letting Mandy pick up the win. After the match, Rose and her buddies got the baseball bat and were about to hit Ray with it when Io Shirai came out and wiped them out. Shirai then hit dropkicks before KLR joined and wiped Mandy out as they cleared the ring to end the show on top. Yeah, decent match. Created a bit of interest aftermath as well, so I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Overall this week, NXT gets a 6 out of 10 from me. I thought it was a decent enough show really this week. Some bits in the middle that weren't as great, but you know, the beginning and the end of the show, which the bits where you really want it to be good, to be honest, that was solid. So yeah, an enjoyable show overall. But anyway guys, that's it for you. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate, comments down below, follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for daily wrestling news. Subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.